most of what I write about in my books is based on my clients as well as my own life. And as I went into my 50s, I just didn't have the energy they had before, and I started having pre-Parkinson's symptoms. And I got some natural treatments for that, and suddenly it was went away. And my wife said, "You're like a totally different person." I said, "What do you mean? I'm the same person." She says, "No, you're like the guy I married 25 years ago." And I said, "Well, what difference?" Because see, we often don't notice how we change over time, but she certainly noticed. And so I realized the importance of good nutrition to create the optimal brain function. Because for men typically, as we age and also as stress levels increase, we tend to run out of the brain chemical dopamine, which is why there's an epidemic of ADD, ADHD, particularly with boys. But if you think about most husbands, they get exhausted listening to their wives, or they just get distracted and think about other things. Those are symptoms of low dopamine. So when you have more dopamine, you have more focus, you're more interested in things, and so forth, particularly your wife. And women under stress, and as they age as well, they tend to run low on the brain chemical serotonin. That's why you'll see a lot more depression drugs given to women, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
And it's almost 4 to 1, 5 to 1 amount of women being depressed compared to men. And this is because women's brains under stress use up the brain chemical serotonin about 8 times faster than men. Women store 50% as much as men, and men can make it 50% faster. We just don't have a lot of the serotonin deficiencies. We have dopamine deficiencies, and that's because we have more muscle mass, and the muscle mass actually absorbs phenylalanine, which is the precursor to dopamine. Whereas for women, they have less muscle mass, and that actually causes them to have more dopamine and less serotonin. Because when you have less muscle mass, it doesn't absorb all of your proteins, and they block the smallest protein, amino acid, tryptophan, from getting into the brain. So guys tend to, at the end of the day, they run out of dopamine, so they're tired, but they have plenty of serotonin, so they don't worry about anything. And their wives are feeling rather overwhelmed because they have plenty of dopamine, which is kind of like emergency, emergency, we have to do this, this, this. And they run out of serotonin, which says, and I have to do it all myself. So then they look over their husband and the resentment starts to shoot up. So, you know, one thing is good communication skills, good understanding of our differences takes a lot of frustration out of relationships. But if we don't have a foundation of healthy levels of energy and positive mood, it really interferes with a successful relationship. So I focused in this book, and that's the last 10 years, applying nutrition with good relationships. Then I focused on the importance of hormonal balance. So we started with balancing the brain chemicals of dopamine and serotonin. Then more research came out that I was able to apply to relationships. So this great research is being done at universities, but these are people in laboratories. They don't understand what people's real issues are. But I'm able to translate it because I'm also a therapist as well as a health researcher. So it turns out hormonal balance is a key player in terms of many of the factors of a good relationship. When you talk about stress levels, women's stress levels today are twice as high as men's. This is measurable. The stress hormone is cortisol. This is why cancer is rapidly rising to where 1 out of 2 women are going to die of breast cancer, according to the way they're moving now. Because when your stress levels rise, your immune system stops working well, and cancer has a chance to grow. Cancer is in everybody right now, and if your immune system isn't strong, you die of it. So the key is helping women to lower this new stress level. In the last 10 years, women's stress levels have just been shooting up. To help manage stress is to understand how men cope better with stress and how women cope better with stress. In my book, I talk about behavioral things we can do. But the reason I'm here tonight to talk is because there's a lot of stuff we can do in terms of nutrition, nutritional support. And what I found in working with couples and individuals over the last 10 years is when they're stressed, by just suggesting and encouraging the use of superfoods, their stress levels would dramatically drop, as evidenced by hormonal balance. So many people, so many women were seeking hormonal support. The school of thought I come from is, why take hormones when your body makes them? You know, take enzymes, your body makes them, but actually if you take enzymes, your body makes more. Take minerals, because your body can't make minerals. Take vitamins, because that's in food. But when it comes to hormones, our body's designed to make those hormones. And when you take hormones, you're telling your body you don't need to make them. So if you can make them on your own, that's the ideal road. And that's the road I have a whole instruction for both women and men. And the importance of this is to realize that when women are under stress, the stress hormone cortisol is made out of progesterone. So already they're going to become estrogen dominant. Estrogen dominant, meaning more estrogen than progesterone according to the right balance, means their brains are going to speed up. Progesterone is the calming hormone on the brain. Estrogen speeds it up. So right away I see that women start calming down with these superfoods. For men, they have to revive. They need to be revved up, because Mars on ice is what happens to men over the years. Their testosterone levels start to drop, their motivation starts to drop. Their interest in sex with their partner becomes less. They're more interested in sex on the internet. Those are all symptoms of low testosterone. Your average 50-year-old man has half the testosterone levels he had in his 20s. I'm 60 and mine's 25% higher than in my early 30s, which is the first time I ever had them tested. Okay. And I know why. I know exactly why.
Is it superfoods?
It's superfoods.
Part of it?
Yeah, so it's getting a good foundation of nutrition every day, and particularly breakfast. I focus on breakfast because that's when your body makes most of its brain chemicals. A light but highly nutritious breakfast can give you brain chemicals for the rest of the day. So I get my nutrition for breakfast, and I eat for the rest of the day for recreation. Because in my mind, you know, I eat out, I travel a lot, and most of the food today, unless it's really, really good food, doesn't have the nutrition we need. But you can get this concentrated supplements. I talk about that in the book, and it's the plan I've been doing the last 12 years. I do it every day. I love it. And I wrote about it in the book as well, but I start the day with an easy cleanse, something that's not intense like you do like a full week cleanse, doing something more intense. This is something that you can do every day, which helps clean the body out on a regular basis. And it's lemon. Lemon is, it produces bile in your liver, and bile cleans out your liver. So right away, you know, this is like the most important thing. They do it in so many different cultures. I travel around the world 18 times looking at what people do in terms of their health and their relationships. Lemon is very common everywhere because it stimulates bile. Bile cleans out the liver. And also we have so many dangerous estrogens, xenoestrogens, and so much extra estrogen. Your body has to get rid of that, and you need to help the liver. Lemon will help the liver.
Give it support to do that.
Exactly. You want to support your body to do its job. Second is aloe gel. And the ingredient inside of aloe, the active ingredient that takes away inflammation and pain, is mannose. Mannose, this ingredient inside of aloe gel, has many properties. One is it takes away inflammation. Two is it makes glutathione, which helps detoxify the body. Three, it's a precursor to SAMe, which is a precursor to all your brain chemicals. And four is your probiotics eat it up and create these saccharides that combine with protein and fat to thicken your cells. So when I take this little mixture, I've had allergies my whole life, but during allergy season, if I just drink this, allergy's gone instantly.
You're drinking aloe in a whole leaf or
a gel, just a gel. You don't want the leaf. The leaf can actually cause liver damage for some people, so you have to be very careful.
Just the inner fillet as compared to the whole leaf?
Inner fillet, right. And the half a lemon. Then I put quercetin in it. Quercetin is such a great thing for getting rid of extra histamines. People with allergies, quercetin's like magical, along with vitamin C. So I put together a whole mixture, people can get it here, which is the vitamin C, the quercetin. Another one which is really great to help detoxify the body's enzymes. Enzymes actually go and munch up toxins. And another one is the enzymes that are in pineapple. So bromelain is just spectacular. Everywhere when I travel for years, I travel so much, and wherever I go, intuitively I always just want to start with pineapple. Because what happens whenever you're on a plane ride, you can't digest anything. Your digestion literally stops. Your metabolism goes into another state when you're on an airplane. You can measure it by an oxygen meter. Your oxygen drops 80% in your body. You start at 100, it will be down to 90, and doesn't go below like 84. So it will drop to 90, then stop. Your body goes into a very low metabolic rate on a plane.
So it can't function properly.
It can't function properly. Immune system shuts down. That's why people get colds. You stop making enzymes. So it's something we need to be aware of on those planes.
And you traveling so much, you've come up with this
as a way to protect myself, and also because I had allergies my whole life. This helped. It hasn't cured them completely, but it will always symptomatically heal it. So I don't suffer from allergies, but I continue to do it, and I continue to help keep my liver clean. So I start the day with a nice little cleansing drink. I call it Refresh, and then the next one is I take super minerals. Which are minerals, all of the minerals. What we have to realize is I think everybody needs to take a full spectrum, every mineral there is, all the trace minerals, every day in the morning.
Top 5.
No, not just the top 5, but all of them. If you don't have all the minerals, you're mineral deficient. Then I do a shake. So I do my cleanse and minerals, I do a little exercise, and then I do my liquid nutritious shake, which is easy to digest protein. My favorite is whey and casein, but many people prefer just whey. But it has to be undenatured, that's like non-pasteurized. Then it's effective, along with coconut oil. I put in some flax and a little bit of fruit and goji berries. Yeah, so that's a really great little nutrient-dense meal in the morning. And I'm gone. I'm ready till 1 o'clock. You know, I have no hunger from that. The key to it, though, a lot of people do shakes and they still feel hungry. They're not doing minerals. Every enzyme to break down those proteins has to have a cofactor, and that's what those minerals are. It's so important. About 15 years ago when I started this, people said, what's the relationship between food and what you eat? It's so completely important. And in terms of health, of course, we're now learning, people are still learning, food affects your health. The quality of your relationships affects your health. You know, so many people are going on a good, more alkalizing diet. What they don't realize is suppressed anger, unresolved grief, is more acid producing than anything you can eat. So, you know, exactly, learning how to give and receive support in our life is just as important as what we eat. Yet it's hard to give and receive support if we're not eating the right things. But it's as in the mind, so in the body, as in the body, so in the mind. There's that link, and we have to respect that link.